minute and a half.
Okay.
Allow these people to come in.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you've been busy, haven't you?
Oh yes, very busy, very busy, and I haven't even kept up because I have several interviews where I just then you have to find a date at the same time. You've got children, you've got school, children, all sorts of things, and then you have the downloads coming in between. The job, you have to do the sessions and so on. I actually have a few interviews that I haven't been able to do yet, what have been asked, but also you have to be in line with it, and so I mean, some of them I didn't take, because you also have to. It has to feel good, It has to feel good.
It's got to. Everything has to align now. If it doesn't,
Yes,
it's
it has.
painful. All right, we got 18 people in the house. Let's see. Okay, sound's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is late night for us. We have a double feature. We got you, then Morgana's coming on about half an hour after. Yeah, so that's cool. Let's see. We got Nasia Sia, Michael Fox, Jackie Knott, Elfie Shantz, Michael Kilmer, Kathy Nemeth Serrano. 35 people. Lissy Love, where you been? Hone Edmonds, he's coming on soon. Barb Bradley. Morgana's next. Yeah, this is cool. Let's have a pajama party.
Oh yeah, I just got up. I got up at 6 a.m. to really, I'm not really one for going up early in the morning, but having to do my juicing. I'm on juicing since Sunday. I just juice fast.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
I like it. I love it. It's just like the third day is a bit critical. Then the mental kick in. Like having all sorts of ideas about what you should drink, eat or drink. But it's I'm quite comfortable with it. But it's really boosting up your energy, your vibration, and I needed to do that after this extreme reset that I went through, that many went through, that has been going on.
That. Let's talk about that. Let me just welcome everybody and welcome to Soul Speaks 5D. Grace Solaris is in the house. We haven't had her on here for a while. She's been on twice. The first time she disappeared and almost transcended in front of everybody. And the second time was in Sedona, so that must have been in September.
Yeah.
So you went through.
Couldn't hear anything because of the high pitched tones, right?
Yeah. That was a crazy time. That Sedona was a crazy time. So you've been going through some stuff. You said that you had a reset, and you think other people have been going through the same thing.
Yeah, that was after. We had this Acturian, which I do these global activations with the Acturians, and we had a one around. It was at the eclipse actually, and it was really massive. Shape shifting you, bringing you to the next level. And then right after that, then came this massive wave into the planet with this galactic plasma coming from somewhere outside of this galaxy. And it clearly wasn't.
You're talking like mid-January, right?
No, I'm talking about just after New Year. There was, you could see, where they monitor all these CMEs coming in, the solar flares and all that. And you could see it was boosting route, but it wasn't onto the Earth, but it wasn't from our sun, right? It wasn't from the sun behind our sun. It was from somewhere else. And there were so many people that could feel it. And so you really, wow, it was this massive wave of energy. And you really, a lot of people felt it. And then right after that, I think maybe it was 2-3 days, then there was a lot of people that just got totally flattened out, either with flu or with this, but a lot of people had that, which I experienced, was issues with the neck and back. Yeah. And I kept on asking my guide, what is this about? And I was just totally flattened out. And they told me that it was a reset a complete reset of your cellular system and also your central nervous system. Yeah. And I posted about it, and there was really, I mean, loads and loads, hundreds of people that told that they had the same issues. So there was something going on. And I'm sure it was triggered through that that high vibrational energies, that galactic plasma that came in. And then, of course, we had this shortly before. There was also 440 people that were on this Arcturian activation that we had, which was a downloading.
I was going to ask you that. Now, when did you do that? Did you do that after these things happened?
At the lunar eclipse that was at the blood moon.
27.
27. Yeah.
January.
So this came right, almost at the same time with this massive wave. It came right after the wave came right after that. I don't know if it had any influence on that. Doesn't matter, but it came almost together. And this was this downloading of the 144 tones of creation, which they told me is this ancient, it's basically the hieroglyphs of the universe. And it's really to anchor in this new Christ grid, where all is unison, with the divine feminine and masculine. And, they talk about, everyone talks about it now, how important it is with sound now.
Yeah.
So in the previous years, we were a lot about light, but I really believe that, sound is really the new medicine, So
that's come up this past week. It's come up a couple of times. Came up with me a little bit too. Morgan and I, the experiences we've had since 1st of January, they correlate with yours. The electrical, the nervous system, the back pain, the getting laid out. Maybe not all at the same time, but it felt like a reset. It felt like the container was being cleaned out totally, physically.
Yeah.
And well, what about, and now this transmission that you did, were you transmitting or were you receiving anything? The Arcturian
it's always like this with, not always, but with these Arcturian activations that I do, it mostly goes like this. I receive downloads and activations some weeks before, and it's been going on for more than a year now. When it first happened, I was just told to share it, and then it started to just show that every month there was something happening, and I get new information every time, and it's all about restructuring the new body, because we are going to get more and more crystalline, right? And we used to have, our bodies were carbon based, right? In this density, in this physicality, we were carbon based, every cell. And then through years now, we have been transmuting, or the body's been transmuted, or is still going on, into silicon based, right? Basically, we're turning into crystals, Yeah. And
we're
it's
turning
like
into galactics. We're taking our spacesuit off layer by layer.
Yes. And so it's like we're getting, you can also say you're getting dolphin like, in our intelligence at least. And so all these activations has been about upgrading our system and receive, because it has been tampered with, through interventions of throughout history, through interventions of whatever. We don't need to name them. Some are galactic, some are reptilians. There have been different, let's just say, entities that had their own agenda. And, for many thousands of years since the fall of Atlantis, there has really been, our DNA has been tampered with. So all the angelic galactic stuff has been, that you can say things have been extracted, things have been changed, so we would not be in alignment with our, with our avatar consciousness that we really are. And so the Arcturians are here to really help us to reconnect with that, to activate that. So it's a lot about rewiring. You get downloads. I got information about, for example, the 13th DNA strand. And every time that all these things happen, I get information I don't know, I just accept it, and I just know what they do to me, every time it takes me a level higher, I get more clarity, I get, it's a quantum leap.
I think it's contagious. I think it's happening. Whatever was extracted from us is being put back in. I think the more conscious we are of that, the quicker and more expansive, we are, and everything is.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of that going on. I really do.
There is.
And then we have the human side, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Straight human side. I saw this great quote.
An ego, yes.
Right. I saw this great quote tonight. Not to me, this is like a quote of a starseed waking up. Right. I saw this great quote from Philip K. Dick. He says, "I experienced an invasion of my mind by a transcendently rational mind, as if I had been insane, all of my life, and suddenly I had become sane."
Yeah. Right.
I think think back to those days when we really started to realize what was going on and what was happening as we were receiving transmissions, and now to be here. There's been a video. Morgan's been talking to some ladies, people taking pictures, video of craft. It's getting bigger. They're getting bigger and bigger, more visible. We've had it, encounters where they're telling us basically we're getting, we're being upgraded. They're upgrading us. They're preparing us to have a full-blown physical encounter. So everything seems to be the veils are I guess they're gone, we're moving through it as quick as we can. Have you had any experiences with visitations? With you seen any lights or anything like that? You had anything go on like that?
Oh, yes.
Physical.
Yes, I do. Actually, where we are living, so when you are at my sister's house, there's a certain place where they just hang around there. I mean, they don't. It's not like somebody walked out or something, but you can clearly feel them that they are there, and you can exclude any other craft or any other thing, and they always have it's almost like we're here, hi, and but there's no, they don't intervene in that way, but they're there. But for me, it's more like, I can always feel their presence. I very much feel them, right? You can really feel this man, and then when I close our eyes, I can see them. So I have this inner vision. When I use my inner vision, I really feel that they're really lined up, fleets and fleets. I mean, it's massive. It's massive. We don't talk about hundreds, it's thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
But it's just as present. They at least that's my feeling, and that's what I've been told. They cannot and will not, at least at present, intervene because they are not here to be our saviors.
No,
right?
It's against universal law.
Yeah. So yes, of course, and it's a free will zone, so they couldn't even do that. So it's a lot about us stepping into sovereignty, and to, also to grow enough in or expand enough in consciousness to understand, not to like either fear them, as there's still a lot of fear around it, and then there's those they almost like we already see evidence of that in ancient times, that they had been worshipped as gods, because we're one and the same.
Do you let me ask you a question. In your interpersonal interaction and connections. You know, do you feel a sense of oneness? Do you feel a sense that even in the physical world, there is more oneness just creeping in as a consciousness?
Yeah, I really feel so. You know, but I guess it's also when you are in 5D, you know, you can still, you know, 3D is still there. You can see it's going on. You can see the frustrations, the fear, the anxiety and all that, which we all can drop into again and again, right? It's not that you're in 5D and then you're just there all the time. You know, there are times you can get challenged or triggered, but it's like, I'm just having, you know, loving experiences with everyone, you know. I mean, I'm just feeling a oneness, and so it's like 3D is still there, but if you deal with it from a 5D perspective, yeah, you will have this feeling of oneness. You will have experiences of oneness because you interact on a 5D level, on a 5D vibration, and that will naturally be reflected back to you. Yes. You know what I mean?
No, so, I mean, you know, there's been, you know, people say things, they're saying the same thing in different ways. Some people, like you, talk to the Arcturians, you know. I think they were in the room.
So I think when I speak with people who are like 3D and not spiritual at all, or not, you know, and I can see it, and we see what, and I often think about, wow, you're so wise. Do you know what you're saying? You know, and this is just, you know, normal people haven't dealt with all that, but I feel as a lot of people, they are just, they wouldn't call themselves spiritual, but it's just spreading out, and there's so many, it's just, I don't feel many are not even aware of it, you know, that, you know, you're, of course, there's still many in fear and in victimhood, right? That's, of course, a big one, right?
Do you think more people are taking responsibility for themselves in the community, in the Lightworker community, or the people you've known since you've been in doing this?
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like really. I mean, it feels like people are, you know, coming to understand that, you know, you cannot just count on, you know, that somebody's going to do it for your government or something else. It really feels like many people are like, they just had it, you know, so they start to apply their sovereignty in, you know, more or less degree, you know, because they simply had it. And that's when you come to this point where you just had it, you know, the glass is full, you know, then you start automatically just to do things differently. So I feel there's a lot of awakening going on. It's like a still awakening for some people, and then of course there's people that are having extreme experiences, but because the world is turned upside down. And I believe that 2019, it's actually going to be the year where, I mean, when this year is over, you will not believe it. You will not believe what we're going to see this year of disclosure and of, I would really dare to say there will be a mass awakening. You know, when you everyone talked about 2012 and which was a time window, we know that. But I really feel that, yes, the window was open, the massive energy started to come in for awakening and all that. But this is really going to be the year where you will see a mass awakening, you know.
People are always talking about the disclosure in the external. I'm more interested in the disclosure in the internal. Yes, I think that's where this whole thing's driven.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people talking about this event thing. I simply don't believe in it. I don't. I think but it's the increase of energies of, you know, this galactic consciousness that is just pouring in, and it's like it's really being, the volume. It's really being increasing rapidly now. I mean, because it was more slowly, and the downloads. So this is really picking up momentum. It's really accelerated now.
Yeah.
And that will force people, to open up. I mean, you have no option, you can go into resistance and all that, but things will just be showed to you even more clearly, So I don't see it, when I say this mass awakening, I don't mean through an external event. I just mean simply through the rising of the frequency. That you're simply forced, when you really have the mirror so clearly in front of you, you just cannot. It's like a piece of cork from a piece of wine. Cork, you say cork, you could press it underwater, but it will keep coming up and smashing up your face,
That's
so
right.
you won't have an option, really,
I think it's forcing people to, with the energies being what they are, you probably ought to spend all your time with yourself, not worrying about other people. Because it takes everything you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're right. It is like that. It's like that wine bottle with the cork. It's just going to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back.
Stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger. Yeah. So people of course start to question things, and they will start to get spontaneous openings, of expansion of awareness, spiritual experiences, which are all new to them. Kundalini,
soulgasm,
yes, soulgasm, exactly. Yeah, it's great, Yeah, we gotta get used to that frequency, because
bilocation,
that's really,
teleportation.
Yes, traveling through wormholes.
Yeah, Morgan did last night.
Yeah, you told me.
About 3 days before that too. No, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening. I mean, it's everywhere. And people are receiving these essences and these galactics and these transmissions and downloads and channels. And that's what I was saying earlier, was that they might look a little bit different, but they're all starting to say the same thing.
Yeah.
And there seems to be the second half of February a big, another big wave, like around the 1st and around that blood moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, many are talking about this. But it's just, I see it increasing, ever big waves coming in, and so this big event it's coming in waves, actually, because otherwise, it would just be a total breakdown. It wouldn't really serve us, I don't believe so. It would serve us. So it's much better in this more smooth way. Of course, it's not smooth to everyone, depending how much they are resisting, of course.
Yeah. So with this transmission on the tones, the 144 tones, is that right?
Yeah.
Did you receive any of the tones? Can you capture any of the tones?
I heard some of the tones. It's not that I heard every 144 of the tones, but I had in the previous, I had several activations that led up to it, and I got a lot of tones, both through high-pitched tones. But when I was in meditation, there was even a time when I was in a session that it also started to come through. A session with a client, it started to come through also. So, but it was like that I received every tone, and I could, name them and pick them in and all that. So it's basically something that was downloaded, and I was told that we will automatically, we will just intuitively know how to apply these tones, and it will be different for each of us. But it's all tones of, it's like, what you call them,
tuning forks.
Yeah, it's tuning forks also. And actually we are tuning forks, because each of us, we are one tone. Yes. we are one tone, and when we come together, we can really create everything, really, right? So it's about this particular combination of tones that can so of course also in the soul monad we have and that's why it's so important that the soul monads come to the oversoul, right?
Can you explain to me what you understand the soul monad is? Is it
Yeah.
composed of 12 parts, something like that, 13 parts?
The soul monad is, as far as I have seen and been informed, 144 souls, right? And so it goes. Some call it the oversoul, some call it the monad, the monadic essence, if you like. And I mean, I can really feel it when I'm in, because soul family, there's soul groups, there's soul family, but when you come down to this, it's like the tractor, so it just comes down like this, and when you come down to the soul monad, this is the 144, right? So each of that 144, they have their particular, you can say, their soul's essence, their soul's signature as a tone. Yes. And I actually, we actually did that in an earlier activation of the, with the Acturians, where we were each receiving our tone. It's something that you can, I mean, you can tune into it. You can just ask to hear it, to receive it. And this tone is also will really help you to open up your consciousness. It will, it's basically restoring everything and expanding, so you get into this galactic consciousness that you are, which also includes angelic, because we are all angelic also.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Absolutely.
So you can really ask to.
And do you I know you talk. I know you call them on the phone all the time. No, I know you connect with Arcturians and Mother Mary and some angelic.
Many different ones.
So, but when it comes to the galactics, like you're connected to the Arcturians, do they talk about the other star families and the cooperative effort that's going on?
Yes. Because they work together. They work together with many other star families, especially with Lyrans, Andromedas. I mean, that's what I had. I mean, but they are all playing different parts. They are all assisting us in different ways, right? So what I am, the thing that I am blessed to do with the Acturians is more about upgrading our body so that we really get into this galactic consciousness. I mean, I guess they're all doing it in different ways, right? I can only talk for this thing, and as I said, it's been going on for a year now, and it's really about upgrading the DNA, what they call the junk DNA, So when I've had these global activations taking place, they do work side by side with other star families, with other galactics.
Yeah.
So this is just one little part of it. Everyone is bringing a piece of the puzzle. And as you said, it's slightly maybe different in how it's worded or whatever, because they use the potential that each person has, based on our galactic imprinting from different star systems, depending on what vocabulary they can use, depending on our experiences in this lifetime, in all the parallel lives that we are having. So I don't speak so much about previous life, previous incarnations, because it's become more and more clear to me, and this is really surrealistic when you experience it, that it's actually all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think this incarnation is the most important one.
Yes.
Otherwise, because we have all those aspects. Yeah. We have them all. you know,
Yes.
and you're not going to be Grace again, and I'm not going to be Todd again.
No.
So
No.
let's raise the roof, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really about at this time, you know, to embrace all those aspects, you know, and don't put any labels on yourself. You know, I can only be this and that. You know, we are multiple dimensional beings, you know, as well as being human, right? Being human is simply just because we are in this physicality right now, and you name it, human, yeah. But we are in this physical dense body, yes. But our soul, our essence, is actually not even. I mean, I don't even see it as a being. A being is like an abstract of this wholeness that you are, which is pure consciousness. Yes, we are all, you know, soul. Yes, we're soul. We are source. Really, all that is, and that includes everything. You know, I'm Jesus. You know, I'm Jesus. I'm Archangel Michael. I'm
right.
Asta. I'm everyone. You know, and it's all in there, and to recognize, to say yes. You know, I really think it's a lot about saying yes and not being in all this resistance. And when you do so, you open up portals inside of yourself where you can really connect with this consciousness, with this wisdom, and with this love, and all these different aspects, you know, that are all different signatures, all different tastes or tones or whatever you want to call them, that just makes you vaster. It makes you vaster. It's a flavor. It's something that, you know, and each of them connects you with a piece of source. So the more that you allow to connect with and merge with, you know, the better, because it just makes you more and more whole. And you know, I start to feel, though I'm still human in many ways, you know, I am human. That's the main thing, you know, being here, you know, I have to deal with that. But I start to experience this humanness more like a consciousness that is experiencing being a human. If you understand what I mean.
Being a human. Being a human
Yes.
with all this information coming in, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like there was a meme. I was telling Morgan about it. The cartoon meme, and the woman's, it's a husband and a wife, and the woman to walk through the wall, and she says, "I'm going down to Venus. I'll be back tonight for dinner."
Yes.
I think we're headed for that. I think we're headed for this. I really do. I don't think it's coming. There's so many things happening where people, in one way or another, may not look the same. It may be a ghost, and it may be a galactic, and it may be a divine essence, and it may be an animal, and it may be nature. But
Absolutely.
the veil is not. It's not thinning. It's gone. It's just a matter of how we acclimate to it, which externally it looks like we're getting help from galactics and divine essences, but really we're running all this too. We have an equal part in it.
Exactly.
And that's really the 50-50 of the universe in us. Yeah. Now, last year you're always connecting to the Arcturians. And I think I told you last summer, they came into my hotel room one night. It was pretty crazy. But right after that, we did another show, and well, that first one you did, I think it was a Mother Mary. I know you're the Mother Mary,
Mary Magdalene.
Right?
Mary Magdalene. When I was translucent and that was when I channeled Mary Magdalene.
Yeah. Now, have you been getting much intel or having communion or connection with the Mother Goddess energy, the divine feminine energy, Magdalene, that type of thing?
Yes, I do get messages as I share along the time, that it's I share a lot of messages about the reemergence of the goddess, and about, and that's what I felt now. It's like, and that was again around New Year. Mary Magdalene has been giving me messages about already a year before that, saying that she's really coming in and taking over the scepter of like being, it's not about being more or less, but it's like she's the shepherd of reality. So she's like the you could say the flame of truth. Yes. It has been handed over to her, being the you can't say the leading aspect, but it's the shepherd, yes, so that the divine masculine, which have been the dominant factor the last thousands and thousands of years, that it has been given over. A shift has taken place, and she had talked to me about that for more than 2 years actually, and I also feel that this shift has really taken place now, right? So it will be, so she's like, because it's through the divine feminine, she's really always in alignment with divine will, right? She's in her heart, not to say that divine masculine is not in the heart, but she is the one that is the giver of life, and she's connected to the womb, where all is born from. So she's the life giver, and through her, creation is taking place. And so the divine masculine is, like implementing, you could say, what she's, yes. So as a shepherd, okay. So they are both equals, but it's just like, one has to, they have playing different roles, and she's kind of the shepherd for reality, for the creation, that everything will now come into balance. Yes, because that which have brought all this imbalance on the earth and has disconnected us from our true self.
I totally resonate with that. Totally. I think a lot of people do. They're starting to see that little dance coming into play. I mean, the feminine's been leading, and she does have that truth. She has that creation and that seed that he just doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's starting to actualize things. So I don't want to run out of time. I want to ask you too, if you want to connect, and if you want to connect, I don't want to run out of time, and or do any type of session or whatever you want to do. Whatever you feel like doing.
First, I would just like to talk about, because I think that's a very important message also to get out there. It was actually, I don't know how long time it is now, a month and a half or something. I was in the shower. As always, when I'm in the shower, I get some of the very important messages. And that was actually Joseph of Arimathea that came through, and I've never had anything to do with him, And this was Jesus's uncle, which uncle, that was Jesus Christ. It was his uncle, right? Okay. Joseph of Arimathea. That's what he's known from in the Bible, and what all the teachings are saying. Anyhow, I haven't had anything to do with him. I thought, wow, what is he doing here, right? So and
welcome to the party.
Yeah, and he told me that I was going to, not me alone, because that was clear it wasn't me alone, of course not. That I was going to take a group of people to the Outer Hebrides, that is in Scotland, that is way up northwestern. There's some islands up there, and I have been called to go there before, and I've after actually first call, I think that was 2 years ago, and then last year it kept on going, Outer Hebrides, so I didn't know where it was, but they have made me clear to me that there's something important going to happen there, but I hadn't been told what, and I just thought, well, when I first saw the place, because I went into Google and I saw it, and immediately I was just like goosebumping all over, wow, the energy is amazing. And so that was last year. I had been told several times, Outer Hebrides, you got to go there. And then this around Christmas, it was just before Christmas, Joseph came in and he said that I should go and I should take a group of people. And then he told me there is a stone circle there called the Callanist Stone Circle. It's the oldest stone circle in Europe. And he gave me a lot of information that is directly aligned, this place, with Andromeda. And that I should take Andromeda, yes, the galaxy Andromeda. And he told me that he is a spokesperson from the Office of Christ, which is a galactic council, the Office of Christ, right? And so he told me that we should go there as a group, and that to open a portal, and that there is a portal there that has been guarded and protected for thousands of years, for this particular time when we are ready, for this awakening, and that we will no longer, like we did in Atlantis, misuse the power. But this portal is aligned with Andromeda, and on Andromeda is the celestial home of the Office of the Christ. So he told me that I had to bring people up there, and I was told I was going to do that with a dear soul sister of mine, Stella Fairbairn, and so I wrote to her. We have done some things, also some activations together. Say, Stella, you know what? I just come from a shower, and I was told that we are going to go to Scotland, to the Outer Hebrides, to the Isle of Lewis, where this is. And she said, wow, that's amazing. I've been called to go there too. And I'm actually in this early stadium of planning a trip to Scotland and to Ireland. So she was just, wow, and goosebumping all over, So she was kind of just waiting for my call in a way. And so now we just set it up and we posted about it. And it was amazing resonance, that people that feel called. So it's people that's what I was told. It's the ground crew Office of the Christ, that we are representatives here. And so those that will really be filled, and you will feel it, that because the calling is so strong for those. And I saw it through the posting, people start spontaneously crying and all sorts of stuff. They just said, I gotta go there. I know I gotta go there, So it's gonna be an activation, massive activation, which I have been told will have a massive impact for the awakening of ascension of the earth. So this happened in the shower, and I was, and the continuous 2 or 3 nights, I got information every night with specific details about what we should be doing. And then Stella, she writes to me the other day, and she said, you know what? There's this book, it's a very famous book called, it's actually, I think, a bestseller, the first book, Anna, the Grandmother of Jesus. And then in this book, they talk about a gathering in Scotland, up exactly in this area where we are, that they had that thousands and thousands of years ago, where they, because this is some trance, she's a trance channel, I believe, the one that channeled that book, Anna, the Grandmother of Jesus. And then Stella said, wow, they're writing about our event there, because I kept hearing the word, it's a great gathering. And in this book, it names it the Great Gathering. It speaks about the Great Gathering. And it's a big activation. So it's actually written about in that book. So she had got it in a book many years ago. So I'm feeling it's like it's a parallel reality. I really feel that it's going to happen now. So very exciting. So this is going to happen 13th of June to the 8th of July. But it's a pilgrimage. It's a trip where we go to many sacred sites. But then we have this activation taking place at the Colony Stone Circle. So very exciting things taking place, and so it will be a great reunion also of soul monad, so that will come together to do this, and we will all operate, and it will be a lot to do with sounds. We are going to work with sounds to activate the star portal there. So it's like together, when we come together in this particular group, we will be like a key in a keyhole. And through chanting these tones and whatever's going to happen, we never know. We're not going to be alone. There's going to be a lot of activity. And I think a lot of different galactics will be there too. So it's a great gathering. So yeah, very exciting. Yes, I'm going to be there.
One galactic that'll be there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And I wonder, you were breaking up on my end because my signal was going down, but I wonder if there's, other gatherings like this around the world in different spots. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm sure there is, because that's also what I've been shown by the Arcturians, that people more and more, whether spiritual or not, we all spiritual, right? But you know what I mean? People that maybe haven't dealt with such things, they are just guided to go somewhere, And I mean, in years back, many of us of the first wave that have been, working and doing things, there's been many activations on portals on different places of the earth with different groups. So this will continue, but there will also sometimes be individuals that just feel a strong call, or just a little group or whatever, but even individuals that are just called and they just know, I need to go there. I just need to be there.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily, some they have tools, they make grids or make this and that.
Kind of like the early years of a light worker. You're going here.
Yeah.
And you just
exactly. And so, but now it's like, so I see I've been shown that then there are persons that I need to go there. I go to Sedona, I go to Kauai, without knowing why, of course. And so they think maybe I'm going there alone. But the thing is, at the same time, around the globe, there are other people moving into positions in other places at the same time. So they are creating these huge portals, geometrical structures, not only in one place, but across the grid, across the planet. So they will be guided to be at a certain point, at a certain time, where other people have been guided to being somewhere else. And I've seen these in my inner vision, like you can see like a great mandala, or just geometrical, beautiful patterns, almost like this kaleidoscope, where portals are opened and so on. So there will be groups going, but there will also be just individuals that just know, I just need to go there. You can't say no. You just, whether it's just being in a place that you visit, because it's all about your presence. It's all about anchoring.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean,
you don't need to do great things and activations.
No, you just end up going somewhere. I think at least 3 places on this island. We found one's like a outdoor universal church. Another one of these mountains behind us, and I've seen, for a couple of days, I was seeing it's like this. I was telling Morgan, there's a black smoky quartz, crystal in there, like a tall obelisk.
Yeah.
Right. And so I mean, it happens. We were on the south side of the island, and right around that time that blood moon came before, I think a portal appeared above the house we were at. We put the pictures up on Facebook. I mean, there's about 30 pictures. You could see it. It was multidimensional. So, and I think more and more of this stuff is happening, but I love what you said, because, it's not just what we're doing by going to a certain geographical place. It's all happening to us when we go, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's an interchange, you know. I mean, you're a conduit. Sometimes you need to pick up some codes that are in that particular place, if it's a portal or whatever. Sometimes you have to be, you know, a conduit, you know, because you have a specific, because you also have crystals in you and keys and codes, and you are connected with a certain, you're in alignment, you know, with something at that particular point, which only you can activate, right? So it's like an interchange, you know. So, you know, we are bridges, you know, between, you know, Gaia and you know, all the different constellations. So it's not necessarily about, oh, I need to, because that's the old days of light work, you know, when we needed to go and do these activations as a group, and there was a specific way of doing things. Here it's very much about, you know, just being present there. You know, so, and then just do what feels right, you know. Absolutely. And that's again the way of the goddess, to just allow, you know, whether your mind can comprehend it, or even, you know, ego come busting in and say, are you freaking mad, you know, whatever. But just surrendering, surrendering and doing whatever, how mad it seems, you know, or, you know, you just can't understand, you know, just allowing it. Just say yes. Say yes.
Yes.
That's a big
Morgan
one.
taught me that. Morgan taught me that when I started getting a little shaky. She'd say, "Just say yes, please." I'm like, "Yes, please."
Because
yes,
exactly when ego is coming up strongly, you know, that's exactly when you know, now you're in touch with something really good. Now you're getting into the real stuff. That's when ego get most tough. So all this stuff about saying, and kill the ego and all that, I say, no, ego is fantastic. Be grateful. It's serving you perfectly. Because when it's getting most massive, it really shows you when you are going you are expanding your awareness, you are taking on your full potential, you're really getting into your highest potential, you know, and that's when the fear kicks in the most. So just on the other side of that, you know, if you just allow and say yes, you know, I am gonna risk it, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I mean, I'll surely be alive afterwards, you know, what can happen, you know. I always say, what is the worst case scenario? I mean, so what, you know, if you really look at it. But it's if you're just in the mind like, oh my God, you know, then it's like you're in total resistance. But if you just look at that particular situation and you just look and say, what could really happen, you know, really looking at it, you know, and then often you can just laugh.
You can't die.
Say, no, exactly.
I learned that a few years ago when I was learning some of the basic stuff. And it was like, the soul can't survive because the soul never dies. And I was like, okay. You know, I think it's interesting that you brought up the Andromedans, because about a week and a half ago, I started picking up on them. And then Morgan and I started having experience with them. And she teleported through that wormhole last night. They seem to be stepping in right now. And I've seen some other people talking about them.
Yes, they are. They are really.
Have you tried to connect? Have you tried to connect to them through channeling?
Yes. And I have. I've had them. I can't remember the first time when they came to me some couple of years ago, but that wasn't. There wasn't many talking about the Andromedans. But they came in more and more to me, and what I have gathered now is that they are really stepping in now. They have been more, you know, more as observators, or what you call them, observers. They have not had.
That's okay. We'll take observators.
Yeah. They have not had so much activations and stuff.
Yeah.
But
the intel I got.
I'm been told that they are gonna step in and in having a more active role now in the ascension of the planet. So many will probably start to get messages, tools, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's also because the office of the Christ is situated, you know, it's part of the Andromedan energy. That's where they have their seat, if you like. Keeps on pointing out that one. So they would really start to play a major role now for the ascension of the Earth to to support us now in different ways. You know, like early on it had more been like Syrians, Pleiadians, Acturians, and they have been more in this overlooking everything. But now they will start to kick ass.
They're like the big bosses.
Yes, they're like the big bosses.
To me, like what I've received, and I'm not saying it's accurate. I'm just saying I see like this path. And I always saw the Syrian, and then from the Syrian it scattered from there. Like that was like a big hub. But then I saw this Andromedan piece come like into Syria. So it's like, to me, they're like, I don't want to say like overlords, or maybe the older ones. I don't know. But the lineage seems to be longer, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes, absolutely. And so they are really, you know, this energy, the oneness energy, you know, and they are like the know, cosmic parents, you know, from the neighboring galaxy, which so they have a lot of, they're very ancient, and you can see them as maybe cosmic parents or whatever, but they are really cosmic architects of creation, you know. And they are important. They are the keepers, as I have been shown. They are the keepers of the purity of the Christ consciousness. Yes.
Yeah.
They're really the keepers.
They're the ones
that.
They're the ones that
so
pull
they have
everybody's asses out of
they
the fire.
they have maintained their purity, right? Where other star system has been infiltrated, you know, so parts of it are maybe lighter than other parts of it, but they have really managed to hold this purity. So that's why this portal is so important.
I figured you'd connected with them. So before we head out, if you want to do anything on the way out, just let me know if you're going to disappear first. So I can tell everybody.
Yes. But we could just
I mean,
connect,
whatever feels natural, whatever you feel like doing, just you know, because I know feels right.
So I would just invite everyone to just connect as one being now, connecting through the heart, connecting as one consciousness. And just allow for all your higher aspects to come in now and allow them to merge with your being. So we will connect as one unit, as one consciousness. So I just invite everyone to be in your heart. Take a deep breath. And just allow this expansion. Allow yourself to expand beyond the borders of your body, to transcend it, and to just feel the vastness and how huge that you actually are. And it's really like letting yourself fall and just be floating, that you're not more constricted by your body. And so our galactic families are here with us. And they are surrounding us and permeating us. And they are telling us and reminding us that we are one and the same. We are just inhabiting different forms, different realities or different dimensions. And just feel how everything becomes fluid, liquid, crystalline consciousness. Just allow this oneness that is beyond any story, that is beyond identity. There's only one. And this is actually just a vibration of the 144,000, which is the vibration of the Christed being in total balance with the divine feminine and masculine. This is a frequency, a vibration that is already at hand, it's already within you, in every cell of your being. And you can click into that space. You can merge with this vibration at all times. And this is actually all that the ascension is about, is like clicking into that vibration of oneness, spirit, soul, all your higher aspect, descending and merging into your physical vessel. And in this space you are, it's the Akasha, it's the place of the 0 point, the morphogenetic field where everything is one, where you are whole. And this is your home band frequency, this is your frequency of grace, of joy and peace and unity. So this is who you are. And this is already there. It's a vibration that you have within your being that you can connect to at any time. So yes, it's about saying yes and allowing and to just being. And you will maybe at times, you will be triggered, you will have challenges, but you can click into this place at any time and just realign yourself, being in your heart, being in the present moment, And you will always, when you're in your heart, when you're in the present moment, you will be aligned with all that is, and you will be in divine balance. And so as you get used to being more and more in this vibration, in this space, it will just become your reality. It will just expand into not just a moment where you connect. It will just form your whole reality. It's like this is the 5D vibration and above, when you are in this unity consciousness, where you're connected with all your potential. So just allow and say yes.
Yes, please.
And life will be a lot more fun. And you can start to create all the wonderful things that we are here to create, the new heaven on earth. And this can be created when we are aligned in this beautiful field. This is the infinite field, the morphogenetic field, where everything is possible. Yes. And we can find
Thank
peace.
you, Grace.
You're welcome.
That was beautiful. So how's your little Shangri-La there? You're in Denmark. How's your house?
Oh, this is very rural. Especially in the winter. In the winter, it's not for everyone. It's no 5-star hotel. I tell you that.
They called you there. Though.
I was
right?
called to be here. Yes, exactly. And I know from the woman who had to leave it. She went to another place, and she said it's such a special place. And it's not the house here. It's the exact point here. And I mean, it's really like miraculous here. This you feel source, you feel God, you feel spirit so strongly here. Yes, in the winter it's a bit muddy, it's cold, it's misty, it's cold, and also, but it's a beautiful energy here. I really love it. But in the summer, then when everything gets green again, it's more attractive. It's more attractive.
You won't have to work.
You're in Hawaii, you have it easy. You can choose which beautiful beach shall I go to, and
I got a coat on tonight. There's crazy things going on in this world. It was cold today.
Yeah.
Well, it was good. It was good catching up with you. We got to get ready for the next show in 22 minutes with Morgana. It's going to be another good one.
Thank you so
Grace,
much.
it was so
Thank
good
you
to see
everyone.
you. I hope we can collaborate sooner than later, because it was a long time since I saw you, and I enjoy collaborating with you. Thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you for honoring us with your presence and sharing space with us and taking us through that last part. That was beautiful. And if there's anything I can do for you,
everyone.
let me know. Yeah.
I love you. Thank you.
Love you too, Grace. You take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.